Hello, everyone. This is my first time trying out the Substack live feature, um, and this is the last day that the new record campaign is going to be available only to Substack subscribers. It's going to go live. I mean, technically, it is live. It's just I haven't told anybody about it yet, except for the people on Substack. um, because I wanted to make sure that everybody could get if that you guys have been supportive of me and have been supportive of this platform for me had a chance to get in on the kind of ground floor of this thing because there's some stuff in the campaign that are pretty limited. Um, I think my mom just joined. That's wild. Okay, hi mom. The but yeah, so especially the test pressings. There's only a handful of test pressings left, and I wanted to make sure that like the people who were on this were able to get that, and any of the limited edition stuff. So tomorrow we're going to launch the whole Kickstarter to the rest of the world. Do the whole you know um, online advertising campaign and all of that fun nonsense. So hi, Matt's mom. Uh, But yes, so this is just a place I wanted to try this out, see how, if you guys have questions, ask me whatever. You can ask me about the record. You can ask me about really anything that you like. I'd like to know a couple of things. I'd like to know if you guys like the Substack posts, if you'd like to see more of that stuff. I'd like to know what you think of the new song that I put out on the Kickstarter. Because so far I put up a little teaser of it today on Instagram, but so far you guys are the only people who have heard the whole song. And the video that Josh Berwanger from the anniversary made for the song, he's doing all the like video stuff. And my friend Mike Dubin is the one who did all the like kind of drone footage in that video and all the sort of artwork for the record, which is all taken at the actual Salton Sea. Well, at the beach by the Salton Sea. So okay. So yeah, hit me with any questions. Yeah, I don't know what to do until you ask me a question. Um, I can tell you about uh what's been going on. Nothing's been going on. I've just been working on this Kickstarter campaign, and okay, you're typing a question right now. Great. Anyone else playing on new single with you as backing band? Yes. The drums are performed by Adam Phillips, who played drums in Radar State, with me and Jim and Berwanger, and he also plays in 10,000 bands in Kansas City. And then my youngest child, Jersey, who's been playing bass for me for a while on some tours, um, especially if you saw the tour I did with Kevin Devine in 2023. Jersey was playing bass. So those are the people who played on the record. And then Jersey and Lily are going to be, and Adam are going to be in the touring band. So finding a way to ship into Canada to be original. Um, the the shipping was kind of a guesstimate as far as like worldwide shipping stuff goes, because Kickstarter kind of makes you choose how much, and so it has to kind of be the same. I mean, it doesn't have to be the same price, but it's like I had to kind of like guesstimate on how much the shipping for international stuff was going to be. So I'm sorry that that's kind of expensive to ship it to Canada. I think Canada's going to get probably, it might be a good deal for if you live in Japan or Australia, but it might kind of, because those shipping costs are usually significantly more. But yeah, Canada will be, unfortunately, a little bit more expensive, and that it doesn't have anything to do with Trump or tariffs or anything like that shit. Okay. Next time playing New York City and Long Island, probably. Well, Probably on this tour, the East Coast leg is going to be in the spring, in later in the spring, probably in like late March, early April. But I believe, I mean, New York is definitely on there. Long Island, I think, is, but you have to kind of do that sort of, you know, New York City, Long Island, New Jersey sort of like you want to make sure you can like do a little bit here and then come back and do other stuff. Um, do you plan to tour this album specifically in Casey Lawrence area? So I do plan to tour this album. I actually have another phone call with my booking agent tomorrow about this, and that tour is gonna start in January. It will be with a full band. It'll be Adam, who played drums on the record, and then Jersey and Lily, my two kids, will be the rounding out the rest of the band. And it's going to be basically the whole U.S. from like January to like late April, early May on. And I mean, not all at once because I'm not crazy, but like in chunks. And then we'll see how it goes after that because there's lots of places I'd like to go, but again, I don't know how this is going to go. I haven't put out a solo record since 2017. So hopefully we will get to everywhere. Oh, but specifically, I don't know when I'm going to play in Kansas City and Lawrence. I kind of want to get into more into the vibe in Lawrence of only playing benefit shows around town. There's a lot of really good charities in town that I'd like to support, and just hometown shows are always stressful, so I want to make sure it's for a good cause. But there's not actually not a hometown show on the docket yet, but I'm sure that there will be. But it'll just be for a charity event. Did the Substack enjoying your memoir thus far? Will you be visiting St. Louis soon? Last time I saw you, you solo with your daughter at Red Flag. Yes, the St. Louis should be on the second leg of the tour, first or second leg of the tour. So in the spring, on that when things get going. Any theme to the record or any place writing album came from different? Yes, actually, more so any theme to the record was the question, and more so than probably any record I've ever done. This record is the closest thing I've ever. It's not a concept album, but it's the closest thing I've ever done to something like that. So you may or may not know from the Substack posts, but 3 years ago I got into a really dark place with my drinking, and it ended up putting me in the hospital. And in February of 2023, I got out of the hospital and I got sober, and I've been sober since then. And so this record started as a writing exercise of writing 1,000 words a day about the last 6 months of my drinking career, as I like to call it. And then those stories became songs, and then those songs became the record. So the record is about that time in my life that was, the fall of 2022 into February of 2023. That's a bit of a blur, to be completely honest. And just, how things started off really good and then they got really dark. And then I found my way out of it and what I learned from the whole thing. So, yeah, the record does have a kind of concept to it. Do you play? I apologize if you answered this in your recent blogs. What was during that time lyrics? I just answered that. Haven't even considered tariffs because of that douche. No worries. Yeah, I know. It's one of the tariffs thing and just the whole state of the world under the current administration is a little bit weird as someone who makes part of the living touring outside of the country. Any plans to bring back the podcast? No. I you know I I like doing podcasts. I think I kind of get the same uh feeling. I think I get more out of doing other people's podcasts now than hosting my own because it's just a lot of work, and I did it for a long time kind of with no real like it was taking a lot of time and a lot of work, and I wasn't really making any money at it, and I was getting kind of burnt out on the whole thing. And now it just kind of seems like the singer of a rock band having a podcast seems sort of I don't want to say cliche, but it just seems like sort of like it's not really like a novel thing anymore. When I started doing it in 2012, uh my old podcast, I had to like convince some people about like my friends that are in bands, like why they would want to be on the podcast, or what it even was. I'm gonna turn this light out. Hang on. Is that better? I guess a little bit better. I got a ring light and my wife stole it and she uses it for her makeup, so I had to buy another ring light. In general, shipping a record from the US to Canada is a minimum of okay, that's you're answering someone else's question. Hey Matt, any plans for more house show tours? I was at the Harrisburg show, so awesome. Currently no, because the album is a full band album, and so I'm gonna do a full band tour for the album. And so those are gonna be in clubs because it'll be if we did the full band in somebody's one of the great things about the house show is you can, just play on a back porch with no PA or anything, and you can't. It just becomes much more of a production to do that with a band, and I'm, you know, it's just we'll do the house shows again sometime. They're really fun. I really, really enjoy them a lot, but it's I just need to be a little bit more of a have more not I guess production's the right word, like saying like a PA and stuff for a club show if we're gonna have a drum kit there. Pretty chance my question, so you don't gonna answer me. It was the first podcast I got into. Oh, that's nice. Is there any way to get Worse for the Wear press on vinyl again? So Worse for the Wear on vinyl. There was like a limited version of it that came out that I think was I don't know if it was for sale or if it was only for promo that Vagrant put out in 2003 when the record came out. Um, I don't own that recording. And I'm not entirely sure. I guess I could probably figure that out. But I earlier this year I released a re-recording of the first New Amsterdam's record, and a limited edition vinyl of that to celebrate the 25th anniversary of Never You Mind. And I intend to do that for Paratota Vita and for Worse for the Wear on their 25th anniversaries, respectively. But I don't have the rights to press the vinyl of the original recordings of those records. So I don't think there was ever excuse me, I don't think there was ever vinyl of Never You Mind or Paratota Vita. And there's a very limited number of Worse for the Wear vinyl. I don't even have. So if that makes you feel any better or worse, I don't know. Are you playing anything live tonight? I haven't decided yet. We'll see how many questions I get. If I run out of questions, I'll play you a song. Or just Q&A. I mean, I'm liking the Q&A so far. When's the sequel to your book coming out? So there's a book contingent to this record. So like like I said, these all started with stories that I had written about that time in my life, and so they kind of read like short stories. So one of the things I intend to do over the winter this year is to kind of compile all of that stuff, and I want to put out like kind of a companion book to the Salton Sea. That's like the stories that go along with the songs, like the sort of like the narrative of it. And so that's the project that I am working on next, and then the project after that will be the sequel to Red Letter Days, which will pick up right before the big Vagrant explosion of 2001. Let's see, single coming out. Never You Mind Taylor's version. Yes, I was calling it the Never You Mind Taylor's version. For those of us who know a portion of your solo material and your answer material, but not yet familiar with all of it, what albums should we listen to most in anticipation of your solo tour next year? Oh, that's an interesting question. Um, I've been debating what songs to teach the new band lineup for this tour of what to play, and I'm trying to think about what songs over the span of my new amps and solo career work best in a band format that I haven't been able to do playing just solo acoustic. Because some of those songs sound better just with one person, and then some of them have full bands. So songs like uh, "Hover Near Fame" on "Worse for the Wear," as we were talking about before, is probably one that'll be up there. It's got a lot of like guitar solo-y stuff in it that I don't do well. I'm not a really great guitar player, so it might be kind of like a stripped down version of it. Or Kind of Go to Pieces, the song on my third solo record. It's called, unfortunately, titled Wrist Slitter. But Kind of Go to Pieces is this sort of like big, fast punk song that I think would sound good live. But yeah, and then I would certainly take some some input on that. Like all the songs on the new record, I'm having everybody learn. We're not gonna play the whole new record every night, but I just want to have all of them in rotation. There's 10 songs there. So probably like 10 to 12, 15 more songs. And then I want there to be like at least part of the set to be sort of like stripped down, like acoustic guitar, maybe some banjo, that kind of thing. But yeah, if you have any suggestions for like rock band format songs that I don't, especially ones that I don't usually play on like acoustic tours, because that would just be nice just for variety's sake, especially since I've spent the last year playing the same album every single night. So, Worse for the Wear, Taylor's version coming. That is the plan. Parito de Vida and Worse for the Wear, Taylor's version coming. That on their 25th anniversaries. Any TV shows or podcasts you're into right now you can recommend? Andor. I mean, I think that's kind of a no-brainer. That show, second season of Andor, was absolutely amazing. Podcasts, I just kind of got into The Rest is Politics. I've been listening to a lot of politics podcasts, and also Scott Galloway, this guy who's a sort of economist, business sort of dude, but he's I think he's kind of interesting. But The Rest is Politics just did this sort of like 4-part series on who JD Vance actually is, and that's kind of interesting and scary at the same time. So I really like that one. With touring and being sober, it seems you get experience. It seems you get experience cities differently than you did in the past. Are there things you seek out now in touring, like foodie, coffee, posts? Yes, it's interesting because the first couple times going back out after quitting drinking, I just kept noticing all the bars I used to go to, and you just kind of go like, I drank there, and I drank there, and I drank there, and I drank there, because I end up being in the same places. So I actually get to see more of the cities now. I walk a lot. I go on like just sort of like long. Anybody in the band will tell you, in Get Up Kids anyway, will tell you that I'm gone for hours at a time, just wandering around the city. Um, Usually in the morning before sound check, and uh, I'll stop and get coffee. I'll just Yelp as a concept has just completely changed touring as far as like finding things. I'm always open to new recommendations. Um, but yeah, it's just a lot of I think previously I would just walk far enough to find a brewery to have lunch at and have a couple beers and then take a nap. And it's just like I just see so much more stuff than I did. X's and O's, maybe that's a thought. That's a song, a New Amsterdam song that is kind of twangy, I guess. I don't know. More people means we get to see Without a Sound live. Without a Sound, the Eleanor is one that I was actually really, really thinking about. I still have that bass you can see in the back there. That's Eleanor, the upright bass. I don't know if she's going to come on this tour because it's a big, big piece of wood and it's a pain in the ass. But we'll see. Bad Liars, one of my favorite years. I feel like I don't hear too often. Bad Liars, an idea. That song's like a minute long, so it doesn't take up a whole lot of space in the set. So it's one of those ones you can. Is the New Jersey show in September going to be a Something Right Home About set? I don't actually know. Get It Kids are playing this brewery in New Jersey in September, and I don't think it's advertised as a Something Right Home About set, but I imagine it will have quite a bit of Something Right Home About songs in it if it's not an exact Something Right Home About set, because those are the songs we know really well right now. So I think it'll be a good time. It might be some more like 4 Minute Mile stuff, just so that we can like play something different. but I'm sure there will be plenty of something to home about in that set. Oh, I've gotten really into collecting cassettes, especially with artists releasing their new albums on cassette in limited number. Any chance of seeing with music on cassette? So I'm old enough to have, like, I was in high school. I had cassettes in grade school and high school, and I hated them, and I still don't. I don't get why. I appreciate that you like them, and I've even heard like other people talking about how they're collecting CDs again now, which I also don't get because it's kind of, I figure, like, whatever. I'm not here to yuck your yum. I don't think I'm going to make cassettes because honestly, I don't think they're. I think the number of people who will buy them don't justify how much they cost to make. That's all there is to it. But I kind of figure that if you're either going for fidelity or convenience, and it's like if you want vinyl for fidelity, then have something that sounds the best, or convenience of something digital. Cassettes serve neither of those things. Cassettes don't sound good and they're not convenient. Um, they just honestly, cassettes are better as like wall art than as actual music listening mediums in my opinion. But at the same time, uh, if that's what you're into, that's what you're into, and I don't give a shit. Other than that, I don't know. I'm putting this record out myself, and so every dollar that I spend on manufacturing is completely accounted for, and I just don't think enough people are going to buy cassettes to justify making them. But if you want to hook up a cassette player to your record player, if you want to tape it and make your own cassette cover, then fucking knock yourself out, dude. Like I used to do that all the time. Um, would you be open to fishing or vow renew? Well, obviously we pay you. Sure. I'm a minister, Universal Life Church. I didn't put that, I mean, you know, it- yeah, I'd be open to it. Hit me up, Matt Pryor songs at gmail.com or, through the kick, whatever. We'll work something out. I don't know. Um, Can you tell us who Hover Near Fame is about? Not really about anyone specifically. It's more about there was this, there was or is. I don't remember if I don't know if it's still there or not. I heard it closed. This bar in Manhattan called Lucy's that we used to go and hang out at, and it was kind of like our sort of like playing shows in New York City and then going out afterwards can be a bit of a what's the word? Everyone, you can get into certain situations where everyone's like either trying to see or be seen, just because of the nature of the city. And Lucy's was the place where I really liked going. I think everybody did, just because it was just our friends would go there because it was just like this dive bar. I think it was on Avenue A, kind of by where Brownies used to be. And then at some point in like 2000 or so, it started becoming like hip. And so all of these people started hanging out. And then sort of like C and D list celebrities started hanging out there. And it just kind of ruined the vibe for me. And so that's just sort of what that song is about. It's just me being sort of an angry, young drunkard who's mad that people are taking up the space in my quiet bar that I liked. It's dumb. It's a good song though. I like the song. Will New Amsterdam's ever be revived? No, probably not. I think that I think I can just do New Amsterdam songs as Matt Pryor, and I think this incarnation is the band is going to be called the Salton Sea as well. So it'll be Matt Pryor and the Salton Sea, and New Amsterdam will just become part of the oeuvre of the whole thing. Do you plan to ever tour the other T-Guck albums on the anniversaries like you did something at home about in the future? Well, we did one for 4 Minute Mile in 2022. And we're kind of kicking that around because on the one hand, we don't want to just exclusively be a nostalgia, act. It's fun and it's great, but it's kind of like it does. You start to kind of it becomes like typecasting almost, which is of sort of like pretending like we're the band that pretends to be in our 20s when we're in our 40s a little bit. I don't know. There's a balance there that we're still trying to figure out. This tour, Something at Home About tour and the 4 Minute Mile tour were successful, and fun and still continue to be fun. And so, not opposed to it. I'm not sure that we would do a whole world tour of another full album because it does get tedious playing the same fucking set every night for a year and a half. Just saying. It's great. I'm glad. I'm not complaining about it. I'm just saying that it's not, it is kind of exhausting. Is Kickstarter the only way to get the new record? Currently, yes, Kickstarter is the only way to get the new record. It's going to come out. I'm releasing it independently on my own label in November. It's going to be distributed by Polyvinyl, and which right here. But right now, the only way you can get the record, and then the only way you can get any of the things that are in the Kickstarter right now, whether it's the exclusive vinyl or the exclusive shirt or any of the other stuff that's in the Kickstarter, is through the Kickstarter. And honestly, I just would love it if you would help support it because I'm trying to release this record independently and it's expensive to do that. So, I think that's why Kickstarter was started, was so that you could encourage artists to make art. And that's what I'm trying to do. Let's see here. I saw New Am's in Philly back in 08 or 09. You brought your son out with you. Was that Jersey? So no, in 08 or 09, Jersey would have been 1 or 2 years old because he was born in 2007. And so that would have been Elliot, who's my oldest son, who used to come on tour with New Am's and play maracas on stage. And he hates when I tell people that. He doesn't. He is much more into his own thing than rock band stuff. But when he was 3, he didn't have any choice in the matter, so we just brought him with us. 07. So yeah, still Jersey may not have even been born. Actually, no. In 07, he was born in January of 07. So yeah. Somebody, okay, hell yeah, man. Okay, it's people just learning about each other. I was there too. I will travel anywhere in the world for a full Guilt Show set. Or it would be awesome if How Long Is Too Long is made into regular. So we've never actually played How Long Is Too Long. I think it's one of those songs that Guilt Show's weird because as much as I love that record, we didn't really write it together. It was sort of like we sort of wrote it we weren't getting along great, and so we weren't in the same room often. We never played that whole record. Some of those songs, including How Long Is Too Long, we never played. We've never actually played. So I don't know. Learning a full Guilt Show set would be not impossible, but it would be kind of tricky. Some of the songs are things like Conversation has 3 different click track drum tempos in it. It's something weird like that. So it might be kind of tricky, but I'll pass that along to the guys and see what they say. I'm not opposed to playing the song. We like visiting Lawrence. What are some of your favorite places to go there? Well, I always recommend people go to Ladybird Diner. It's my friend Meg's diner. Go to Love Garden. It's one of the best record stores in the country. Go to Silas and Maddie's ice cream shop. Really great ice cream. Then there's a soda store, place that does boutique and small batch sodas next to that. It's a great place to come if you're going to go to a show. There's the Granada, the Bottleneck, Liberty Hall, all good times. And yeah, that's about it. If you came out on a Sunday night in the summertime, you can go to a kickball game. But yeah, it's a cool town. Hi from the girl who brought you to Cape May and gave you the snacks. Oh, thank you very much. They were delicious, especially the tinned, I think it was tuna. The tinned fish was particularly good. I really enjoyed that a lot. Thank you very much. Is there a song of yours that people seem to like that you now don't like or don't even enjoy playing yet do? I really don't care for the song Michelle with 1L. And I've been kind of open about that. We played it on the 4 Minute Mile tour, but it's one of those things where more than any song from, I often explain to people that when you put out a record that has the lyrics written when you're 19, you may not feel the same way as you did when you're in your 40s. And so you might have tried to become a better person since then, maybe a less codependent person. And so singing songs that just kind of remind you of your bad habits can be not that great. It's not that big of a deal anymore. It's more because that song's like 45 fucking minutes long and it just doesn't go anywhere. It's just, you can ask anybody in the band whenever we play anything from 4 Minute Mile or before, like we didn't know what we were doing as songwriters. So it's kind of like, why'd we do that? Like we do these like weird things where like, you know, uh, like we don't repeat a chorus or something strange like that. You just kind of go like, well, that was the hook. Why didn't we do that again? So that's the only one that really kind of comes to mind. Everything else I kind of compartmentalize and just sort of say like, I'm performing it for the people, not for me. All these people at this one show. Will there be another book? Yes. As I said before, there's a book component to this record that are sort of the stories of my experiences that led up to this record that will come out at some point, probably next year. And then the next uh, the next sort of like volume of my memoir will come out sometime after that. I just have to write it first. Because the memoir Red Letter Days ended in 2000, so it'll pick up right in like 2001. Do you think we'll ever get new music by Radar State? I don't think so. That has been really difficult to organize. In fact, two of the songs on my new record were gonna be Radar State songs that I reworked for the record because it's just been impossible. Um, it's hard enough getting all the Get Up Kids in one room together, and that's like our actual job. And so getting like side project coordinated is really difficult right now. Yes, I'd love another book. Good. I'd love to write another book. How Long is Too Long is somehow the most streamed song from Guilt Show on Spotify. Well, I don't know, man. I don't know what to tell you. It's not because I've been listening to it. Also, any pulled in the Radar State EP back up on Apple. Oh, is it not up on? Okay, I'll see what Beringer says about that. The Radar State EP. There were 3 songs that we put out first. I don't expect any details, but is there a chance you'd ever work with James again? Well, I won't give you any details, but probably not. Uh, I like this James question. Well, I'm not crazy about it, but I understand why you're asking. Are you supportive of fans recording your live performance and posting the songs on YouTube, or would you prefer people just came to shows and enjoying them without wanting to record and putting it up online? I don't really give a shit. If you want to record the show and put it up online, that's totally fine with me. I I don't really mind at all. Um, I like that more. This has been this phenomenon I've noticed at shows lately. That's sort of I call it plus one syndrome, where there's a couple who's coming to see. This is specifically on the Get Up Kids tour. Recently, I've noticed this. Where like one person in the relationship is a really big fan, and then the other person has obviously been dragged to the show and has no interest whatsoever. And they're usually just posted up like right in front of me, like either staring at their phone or just kind of like mad mugging me the whole time. And that's not my favorite thing in the world. So if you're going to use your phone just for recording, I don't really care. I'd rather you do that than just, stare at it bored the whole time. So let's see. I really enjoy Lion and the Lamb. Did you write that song or is there a story behind it? Also really enjoyed the Never You Mind album. Lion and the Lamb was just a song kind of in the W. Bush era, talking about like just kind of like it's really sort of like vague biblical stuff. Obviously, there's a lot of biblical imagery on Guilt Show, and that song came out of the Guilt Show sessions. Um, and just sort of about that song ended up being on that Rock Against Bush comp that Fat Mike put out, and it's not really about Bush. It is kind of about war for oil kind of thing. There was a lot of stuff going around then that was just sort of like I don't understand why we're doing this, and I don't understand how someone could be considering themselves a Christian and then be in favor of going to war for oil. That's where I was at the time. So, Lion and the Lamb is a biblical reference. In like a lion, out like a lamb. Is that how it goes? I taught middle school with a guy from Eudora. Told me he ran cross country with Rob in high school and definitely hung around a few Teagup shows in the day. Do you remember Joe Hutchinson? Hutchison. Uh, I I don't know that I remember him. He might. There's a lot of people that the Popes and Jim went to school with that I don't know that well. So that might be more of a question for them. Did do. What does that mean? Um, who is this person? Oh, okay. Oh, did you plan to see Oasis with Jim? No, I am not that into Oasis. Jim, Jim and Rob and Ryan are all going to see. Jim and Ryan are going back to England. So Jim and Ryan are going to England 3 times this summer. We just finished a tour. They're going back this weekend, I think, to go see Oasis, and then we go back again in August to play some festivals. And Oasis has never been a band that I've been particularly that interested in. I think they're fine. I don't really. It doesn't do a whole lot for me. So no, I will not be going to Oasis. What bands are you currently listening to? Not much, to be completely honest. I've been listening more to like podcasts and books on tape lately, and then I just kind of keep abreast of things. I sort of like just veg out and watch TikTok sometimes, and I pick up on things. You know, but I haven't been listening to a lot of new music. Um, Have you listened to the new Turnstile album? I haven't listened to the new album, but I've heard some of the songs and I've seen some of the clips of them in their shows, and I think that they might be the funnest band I've seen. Just watching their like the joy that comes out at what seems to be at Turnstile gigs is something I haven't seen in a really long time, and it warms my little black punk rock heart. This isn't a question, but thank you for the Terrible Twos album. Oh, there's 2 of them, actually. I don't know if you know that. It saved many of my afternoons with bored children. If you don't know, when my kids were little, I did a couple of albums that were for lyrically for children. The band was called the Terrible Twos, and it was basically the New Amsterdam's band, but the songs were about like dinosaurs and bugs and shit. And so, yeah, I put out 2 of those records, and I actually wrote a 3rd one and never released it. So maybe one day that'll happen. Random question: who came up with the cover art change for the anniversary edition of Eudora on vinyl? What just happened? Did things get darker in here? Yeah, the cover art change for the anniversary edition. Is there a cover art change? Uh, I don't know what that is. I'm not entirely sure what that is. I I'm assuming you're talking about the vinyl of it, because I don't think Eudora initially came out on vinyl. I could be wrong. I don't know the answer to your question. Sometimes things w- we have so many like vinyl variants of things that I lose track of them. So sorry. How do you feel about Dinosaur Jr.? Like him quite a bit. How long do you see yourself rocking out on stage? Can you challenge the Stones for longevity? Probably not. Uh, I don't know. Um, you know, I don't mind. I enjoy performing. I like writing more and creating more than performing. So, yeah, I don't know that I want to be in my 70s and, you know, pretending I'm 19 still. The color changed. Oh, how's that? Is that better? Or is that too dark? A little better. Okay. Yes, the vinyl. I like that you started to time travel with your sing meaning. Well, I hope this makes sense. I didn't understand what you meant. I'm sorry. As you did with the Hot Rod Circuit Brownie story. Okay. This is a story. This is a thing that I was doing on the house shows where I was taking some songs and reassigning what they were about. So I was retconning some songs that I had written. So you'll have to come to a show to like hear the whole story, or maybe it'll be in. Actually, it probably would be in my next memoir, but or next book that would be around that sort of time period. But essentially, I had this wild experience with pop brownies and hot rod circuit that was such a mind fuck that I decided that the song "Proceed with Caution" that had been written 2 years before that experience happened was now about that experience. So it made me time travel. And so that was why that's what they're talking about. I've been retconning some of my songs and what they mean. That seems like a good thing to do with the songs you aren't crazy about revisiting. Any songs you wanted to play during the living room tour that just didn't translate to the setting, or does that question not apply because it was whatever the fuck you felt like playing? There's some songs that I just there were. So the thing about the living room shows is that it's as much storytelling as it is singing, and so I wanted to make sure that the songs I was playing had the majority of them had like some sort of like story to tell with them. So that's kind of how they were chosen. And then sometimes just news stories would come up. So a song like trying to think of something off the top of my head. There's some songs that just aren't about anything that are just sort of like cool riffs or whatever, and those are the ones that I kind of would lean away from. But then like a song like um Asleep at the Wheel, which I don't think it's not that it's bad solo, it's just that that has so much more other instrumentation in the actual recording that I think really make the song, but it has a really good story about our van and the wooden bumper and all that stuff that goes along with it, and then about trucker speed. So again, you've got to come to the house shows if you want to hear these stories. This it's a unique experience. Do you have any book recommendations? I just read Scott Galloway's book that was about wealth management, which it sounds boring, but it was pretty interesting actually. I've been really into like rereading some of Michael Pollan stuff. I've been really getting into like listening to audiobooks again and like on my long walks. And so I've been using Libby, which is the library app for getting books, and I re-listened to a couple of Vonnegut books, Slaughterhouse Five, Breakfast of Champions, and Cat's Cradle. And so that was good. What else do I have up here on my bookshelf? I don't know. Barbara Kingsolver is someone that I really like a lot. Yeah. Uh, do, 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 Thanks for the Boys Life recommendation. Departures and Landfalls album fucking rips. Oh, well, I'll be sure to tell them that. I'm glad that you like it. They're a good band. What's your go-to meal when you're feeling lazy? Feeling lazy? Taco Bell, honestly. Like Taco Bell's like my reward. My food, my cheat day meal, if as it were. Could you see yourself on the bill for Best Friends Forever 2026 in Las Vegas as Matt Pryor plays the New Amsterdams? No. I guess if they offered me a lot of money, I would consider it. I don't know. I don't know how the Best Friends Forever Festival was really fun the year that we played it. I don't know if it's something they're going to keep doing after this year or not. I don't know. I'd rather do Matt Pryor and the Salton Sea there, but you know, uh, if someone wants to make me an offer for something like that, then I would entertain it. But it's not something I'm going to seek out. As of this morning, my 2-year-old can identify Get a Kids songs. Get a Kids, yes. I completely forgot about Terrible Two's music. Well, you should go check it out. It's all on streaming services. Yeah, Libby app. Yeah, Libby rules. How's your voice holding up? Good. It's honestly, it was just that, um, you know, this record in particular, Somewhere Home About, is a particularly difficult record to sing because it was written by a 22-year-old who was very in his feelings, as it were. And so there's a lot of like, it's a lot of the vocals of the songs that really hit are like at the very top of my range. And because we're doing a full album front to back, you can't just go like, oh, I can't hit the notes in that one tonight. Let's play something else like you could at a regular show. And, we tried an ambitious thing on that tour, which was we did 6 shows in a row and then one day off and then 6 shows in a row. And at some point, everyone on the bus started to get at least somewhat sick. And I walked on stage in Leeds and it just sounded terrible during holiday sounded awful. And I just had to do that thing um, that I had to do in Milwaukee, which was just like, this is where I'm at. I'd love it if you would help sing along and help me get through the show. Um, like it's not so bad that I felt like I needed to cancel the gig we were already playing, but it's frustrating. I mean, there's no reason to like pimp my Substack on my Substack, but I did write a whole thing about it when it happened because we had to cancel our show in Dublin, just because I just needed to rest. And I can't really do like steroids for vocals, like which is kind of the common lead singer thing to do because I'm diabetic and the steroids make my blood sugars go completely fucking bonkers. And so I just can't do that. It's like almost worse for my body. I've done it before, but it makes things go haywire. But I just needed to rest. And then now it's just like I need to be aware of that. And so luckily we don't have any more 6 shows in a row because it's a lot, at 22 or 2022 when I wrote the vocals for that record, I did not take into consideration that I would be singing that way at 48. So it just, I can still hit the notes, but just not, you just don't recover as quickly just as you get older. That's the big thing. It's like, the best cure for a hangover is being 22. So, do, 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 do. Let's see, let's go back. Libby rules. Audiobook versions of your books. There is an audiobook version of Red Letter Days that I read that you can buy on Audible, maybe, I think. What's your Taco Bell order? So I just go classic. I go full on just, white people hard shell tacos with sour cream. Because that's what I got, you know, uh, growing up. Taco Bell has a special place for two reasons. One is that if we were good in church when I was a kid, we would go to Taco Bell. And then also the first Get Up Kids tours, we were living off of $5 a day each in per diems. And so we ate at Taco Bell all the time. So it's just like a nostalgia thing. But I just go classic. It's also carb wise, just because I have to kind of like keep track of that stuff for the diabetes management thing. The hard shell uh, corn tortillas seemed to like I just seem to have a better ability to like keep on top of the carb count in those. So I'm realizing how much I'm using my hands. It's weird. Really doing the Substack writing. Oh, thank you. Suggestions for the upcoming tour. Story Like a Scar might be my favorite. Oh, that's a thought. Okay. Just download Libby. All right, check it out. How much are you loving the White Falcon? Let me start saying that shit. Okay, so it's not a White Falcon. Technically it's called I believe it's called a Gray Falcon, but it's black. And it's this Gretsch hollow body that I got that I've been some notification from the Weather Channel that I got on the right before we started doing the Something Home About tour. And I love it. having a Bigsby for you guitar nerds is not great for punk rock because it doesn't stay in tune fantastic. But so I have to change the strings on it basically every day and stretch the shit out of them in order for it to stay in tune. Do. How's sobriety treating you? You look great. Ah, thanks, buddy. It's great. I like it quite a bit. I very much enjoy being sober. Thanks for doing this and making it easy, man. I appreciate that. Oh, thank you for coming. Who is opening the tour for you next year? Andy Jackson? No, I don't know who is other than so Lily and Jersey, my kids who are playing in my band. They're going to be the opening band. Their band, which is just a duo of the two of them, called Small Uncle, is the name of their band. They're going to be the first of three, and then there'll be somebody else on the tour. But I'm not sure who that is yet. But as soon as I know, you'll be the first to find out. So glad I'm so missed the living room tours. Well, I'll do it again. It'll be fun. It's probably the living room tours. I think go better with the books if I keep putting out books because it's storytelling most of the time. I'm sorry to say I left your last Philly show after one song because I accidentally overdosed on Sudafed and almost blacked out in the pew. Oh no. I'm so sorry. I played this solo show in the chapel of the church in Philly, but we filmed the whole thing. So there's like a 3-camera shoot of that show. So I'll be releasing that eventually, probably through Substack, I would guess. So you can hopefully not have a traumatic reliving of that experience, but you can watch the show. Patreon era for Get Up Kids was a really amazing time period, and I missed the incredible content that was on it. Any chance you guys would make it available for streaming or sale online? The only thing we've discussed of the Get Up Kids Patreon, oh, I missed a question, was the cover songs that we did. We've been kicking around something to do. We recorded, I think it's 5 or 6 covers that we only put out on Patreon. And we're sort of like kicking around what to do with those. And we'll be releasing them at some point. I just don't know in what. We haven't decided in what capacity yet. You have a favorite cover of a Get Up Kids song? There's a live version of Chris Rowe, the Atari singing Holiday. It's pretty cool. There was a compilation that I think I still have a CD of somewhere in I have a big like storage container full of like random Get Up Kids stuff. That was a Japanese compilation of all Japanese bands doing Get Up Kids songs, and that was really pretty interesting. That was one of those like, whoa, this is kind of far reaching, Do you like mine talking to fans or signing autographs after shows? You always have for me, but I feel like I and others could be bugging you. So it depends on the show. I don't dislike my friends were joking that they say I don't like people, and it's not that I don't like people. It's just, it's difficult, and I don't do it after Get Up Kid shows because I'm just exhausted because it's a it's an hour and a half long cardio workout, and I just don't have the juice left to like socialize. Like I literally, you can ask anyone in the band. As soon as we walk off stage, I just go and isolate. And just to kind of decompress. At the house shows, I'll I'll stick around and meet people, but I haven't decided how I'm going to handle this. I also just don't, we'll see how this goes. It's a decision I made at Get Up Kid shows, but we'll see how it goes for the solo shows and that are in clubs. Is I don't really love hanging out with people who are drunk. Just because I'm 2 years sober and it's just not a good vibe for me. But I don't want to, I'm not trying to, you do you. I don't give a shit. I just don't necessarily want to like come off stage and then have, if you've ever been a designated driver, you know how annoying it can be to be the sober person who has to talk to the drunk people, even if they're in a good mood. It's just, nothing against you. I hope that you have a good time. And take care of yourself and don't drive. Did I miss? I think I missed a question. Oh no, I found it. Okay. I'm going to do a couple more of these and then probably call it. But I think I'm going to keep doing these. Maybe I'll do these like at least like once a week while we're doing the Kickstarter campaign, because this is uh, better than I thought it was going to be. I didn't think anybody was going to show up. If I were to tell you that I was in a band called Business Lunch, what kind of music would you assume we'd play? Business Lunch. I mean, honestly, that kind of sounds like kind of a millennial or Gen Z sort of like indie band. Like I think of like Wet Leg, like a band that like I don't know what that band name means, but like Business Lunch kind of sounds in that sort of vein. Like maybe sort of like a post punk kind of like, you know, Idols or Viagra Boys kind of like speak singing sort of thing. I think Business Lunch would be either that or some sort of like goofy ass funk band would be my two thoughts. It's so good. Were your favorite bands to tour with? Favorite bands to tour with. I mean, I always go back to Braid because they were the first band we ever toured with, and they kind of taught taught us how to tour, how to enjoy, enjoy life on the road. So that's the one that always comes to mind. YouTube only. Oh, well, I mean, we can try it on YouTube. I kind of want to push more people to the Substack because I really enjoy um, doing the Substack posts. So, would you consider adding a meet and greet package for your solo tour? I don't know. I don't know. I'm not opposed to it, but I haven't decided yet. Um, the other thing is too is that like when you go on tour and you don't get enough sleep and you don't eat great, and then if you go out and you just shake hands and take pictures with people, you run the risk of getting sick. Um, even this was even before COVID, this was a thing, and so it's just something you have to weigh. Also, I've been hearing more now that like clubs are starting to charge bands meet and greet fees, which is kind of annoying. But we'll see. Again, I'm talking to my agent tomorrow. I'll let you know if it's a thing. Thank you for doing this. Appreciate it. Oh, thank you for coming. If they get a kid to record a new cover song, what songs bands would you love to cover? Um, well, the covers that we did a Superchunk song, an Elastica song, an In Excess song, a Rock from the Crypt song, and a Lemonhead song. Jesus, guys, I've been talking for an hour. I'm getting hoarse. Um, the but yeah, so we always are coming up with different songs to cover, but they're usually like obscure, like 70s singer songwriter kind of things that I don't think people would get the reference. No, that's just an account about the Japanese could be tribute. What Jared said, it's only on YouTube. Oh, I see. Cover Don't Change is so good. New song sounds great. How many new dings do you have so far? New dings? Does that mean like I don't know what that means. New things do I'm sorry, I don't know what new dings means. But that's okay. You don't have to know. If you want to correct it, I'll answer your question. But last chance for questions, and then I'm gonna go. And then we'll do this again sometime. It's kind of new songs. There's 10 new songs on the record. And the Salton Sea is the first song that you'll get to hear. And you can it'll be up on YouTube tomorrow. So yeah. All right, guys, I'm gonna take off, and thank you for coming to my AMA, and thank you for subscribing to my Substack, and I hope that you come and support the Kickstarter. Save some questions for the next one. And yeah, hope that you check out the record, and yeah, I don't know. That's about it. So let's do this again, maybe next week. And till then, thank you. Bye.